It's a Wednesday, so it's Wednesdays with Keegs. I'm Dan, and we sit here after the Blue Jays fought back from a 5-0 deficit against the Rays, and you sit there thinking, Keegs, this is the game. This is the game that turns the entire season around. And then once again, that was not the case. Blue Jays lose.
It felt like an unnecessarily long route to get to the same place. The entire game, even when the comeback happens, you're kind of sitting there thinking, okay, here we go. But it's disheartening. And these losses, it ain't early. Okay. I'm a big believer that there's no such thing as early, especially when you're off to a bad start, and especially when you are playing a team who you're going to need to chase down in the division. You've already dropped your first 5. You're going to lose that tiebreaker. This is a rough place to be for the Blue Jays right now. And one win, like, Dan, this is not about a magical mechanical fix. Like, this is much more vibes based. And I hate the word vibes because it doesn't mean anything. But this team just needs to feel good about something. They need to feel momentum. They need to get their swagger back. And that felt like it could have been that game. But when you come back and lose one that way, that is just a kick in the gut. It's a really rough one.
Glass half full. I sent this to a buddy last night. Remember the Guardians last year? Late July, they were 48-55. They were 15.5 games out of first place on July 6th, and then they won the division. So it's Dan, never too late.
If your optimistic take is thinking of the city of Cleveland, I don't know. This is my when I think of the city of Cleveland.
I'm trying here, Keegs.
Man, you know what? The state of Ohio. It's man, I think I've got a trip coming up there later this year. I better be nice, but there's ways this can happen. Dan, this is kind of similar, like where my optimistic take is kind of rooted in a bad thing, but the rest of the American League kind of sucks right now. Outside of the Rays and the Yankees, nobody is winning games at all. I'm just going to pull up the standings right here because they're so strange. The Rays are 28-13. Yankees are 27-16. Like, those are two dominant teams. Otherwise, nobody in the American League is more than 2 games above 500. I mean, the Athletics are leading the West. This is not going to hold. Strange things are going to happen. The wild card is still wide open, of course, but the Blue Jays, their wild card runs in 2020, then 22 and 23 showed us that the wild card ain't the way. When you control your own destiny like you do when you win the division last year, it worked out differently. It's not a coincidence. The wild card, you just want to take it to the dance, but you're one bad play or one starter's bad appearance away from being on the brink of elimination. The Blue Jays still need to be somehow, some way thinking division here, but that is a million miles away right now, it feels like.
Because they can't get everything clicking at the same time. Bats aren't working when the pitching's working. When the bullpen, it seems to be the problem. Okay, Corbin, he gave up runs, but then the pen came in and they kept allowing runs. So every facet of the team has not been working at the same time yet this season.
And the offense has pretty much never been working. They had the big eruption the other night for 14 runs. That's something. That's a start. But really, Dan, I part of me hates to dumb it down to just Vladdy as often as I do, because I feel like I'm straying into the world of like a hockey take, like they just need to play heavier hockey or something, right? It feels like I'm boiling it down to the lowest denominator every time, but I really believe it. Like, as soon as Vladdy turns into himself, that gives permission for everyone else to be themselves again. That will remind the rest of this roster what it feels like to play winning baseball, to play 2025 Blue Jays baseball. And when the offense is rolling, I do think that this pitching staff is good enough. The rotation needs to get healthy or get better, one of them on the back end. But with Cease and Gosman and Trey Savage, who's off to a spectacular start, like, you got to feel pretty good. Most teams in baseball would take that 1, 2, 3. The bullpen, while it's had a couple stumbles lately, I think is good enough. Is it the best? No, but it's good enough to not be the problem. You need the offense, and you need the offense consistently. Last year, they were the comeback kids, and they weren't big 8-run comebacks, but a lot of 2-1 games turned into 4-2 wins. We haven't seen that this year, and that is directly tied to power. Okay, you're not always going to hit 5 singles in a row to make it work. You need one big swing from Vladdy. And Kazuma Okamoto has done his job. My God, he's done his job. That's about it. Honestly, like there's some role player like Miles Straw has been great, but that's not who you're looking for to lead the team. You're looking to Vladdy, and they are still waiting on Vladdy.
And Vladdy came up in a big moment, and I was sitting there saying, okay, this is your time. He gets on base, but it's the classic what's happened to Vladdy this year because of an error from the third baseman.
Yeah, Caminero had a rough third inning. It was all comebacks are real. I won't call it a fake comeback, but I mean, Caminero gave them 7 outs in that inning. But that's another example. It's kind of like the at bat we saw a couple of days ago when Vladdy was frustrated and trying to break his pink bat afterwards. You're seeing him roll over on balls. And that's something that people say a lot in baseball. What it means is you're getting out in front of it and you're kind of rolling over your hands over a ball, which never produces power. You want to have a swing plane that's going through the ball, angled a little upward. You're driving the ball upward. He's just kind of rolling over baseballs right now. And that's never going to work. Even when he is shooting balls the other way for singles, I'm seeing a version of Vladdy who's a bit more defensive, Dan, who is using his upper half, but not that tremendous power he has from his lower half, his hips and his core. That's where Vladdy's power comes from. Like power hitters, they're not just all biceps. You know, I think of Jose Bautista. He was not a big dude, but he created incredible power from turning through his body, the torque of his body, his legs and his hips. You're not seeing a ton of that from Vladdy right now. His timing is off. You saw that in the first at bat last night, which was pretty messy. It's going to click, but I'm kind of, halfway to the excuse. It's going to click, but it just has to happen really soon. You can't just be reassured it's coming around the corner because we don't know how far away the corner is. It could be tonight. It could be 4 weeks from now. We don't know.
One of the most entertaining parts about the season is with the absence of Addison Barger and Wright, we get to see Jesus Sanchez. And when one is hit out there,
I love it.
I love seeing, okay, is he going to catch this at chest level? Is he going to catch this just above his shoelaces? He's going to catch it, but we don't know how.
And he seems to enjoy the ride.
Yeah,
too.
he's having a blast.
She's like, hey. Early on, I compared it to Teoscar's defense, but it's more Lourdes Gurriel Jr. There's more whimsy to it. I think Teoscar's was more like active struggle at times, whereas Lourdes Gurriel Jr., when he was in left years back, he'd take that corkscrew route to a baseball and slam into it's an adventure, man. And Jesus Sanchez is all tools. He is so gifted physically. We haven't seen it turn into enough at the plate yet. I'm interested to see if that changes the next month. But man, defensively, this has been a weird year, Dan. Like Dalton Varsho had that great play last night, slamming into the wall. That was like peak Dalton Varsho, classic. And I love to see that. But he hasn't been making many of those plays. He hasn't been getting to many of those balls. Ernie Clement, who I thought coming into the season would be a Gold Glove finalist at second base, hasn't been. And judging defense like that, Dan, so hard. If you're Jesus Sanchez, okay, like as long as the ball ends up in your glove most of the time, whatever. That's what you expect. But it's hard to wrap my head around a team that's taking a bit of a step back defensively. Like at the plate, it's easier to talk about Vladdy's timing and his mechanics, but defensively, I don't even know if mechanics is the right word, or they're not getting as good jumps this year. I don't think positioning has changed in any way, but one of their superpowers from last year, that was one of the Blue Jays' superpowers. They were going to be a better defensive team than the other guys. That has not always been the case this year.
With Varsho, you watch that and you can't help but get in the back of your mind, considering what's gone on with the Jays and injuries this season. Will you be at all surprised to show up at the park today and they say Varsho is not playing today?
Hope not. It was John Schneider said after the game, he was asked if he had to go through concussion protocol, and he said, like, as of then, no, they checked on him. And John Schneider's had a ton of concussions as a catcher in his career, so he's really sensitive to concussions. So he said, no, it wasn't really the head, it was more the chin. And I was kind of in the back row being like, well, Schneider's,
That's still the
chin's
head.
connected to the, but so hopefully he's okay. It was chin first, apparently, but that is he's a good, sturdy Wisconsinite. I think Dalton Varsho, what year was it? I'm trying to remember. I think 2013 Wisconsin All-State safety and kick returner. I wish I had more useful things in my head, Dan, but that's what I know.
I remember the days of Devo White, and when he crashed into the wall, it was like a pillow hitting the wall. It was so graceful.
Yeah, Dalton Varsho is more like running back.
Yeah,
Like I always
he's
say
like,
that if
I'm
I
going to go
built a
through this
team,
wall.
he'd be that running back that's just like built 5'7" or 8", but like he is pound for pound the strongest guy on the team. Like he is really built, but he's just a fire hydrant, man. And that's I felt worse for the wall than Dalton Varsho, I think.
What's the latest on Barger?
Man, it's thankfully not a ligament issue. Like it's not his UCL or Tommy John or anything. But it's a joint issue. And it's still like I feel like this has been a theme of the year, Dan, with the Blue Jays, where every injury is like, hey, it's actually good news. His elbow's just cracked. And then Barrios goes down this path. Oh, it's good news. It's only joint inflammation in his elbow. Like, okay, it's good news. It's better than the worst case, but it's not good. And Dalton Varsho, or sorry, Addison Barger, when he first hit the IL with his ankle injury over a month ago, he was just starting to feel good at the plate. Then he came back and he's got one game. Number one, Barger is the last guy I think who would ever enjoy sitting home in the IL. Like he needs baseball, weightlifting. Like he needs to be in motion. And so I feel for the guy. He wants to be out there as much as anybody in this league. Like he needs it. But hopefully for him, this is a shorter term issue. We'll see. Right now, I don't think he's throwing or doing anything. So it's one of those good news, but situations. And man, they need him. If you have that top four of Springer at number 1, Vladdy at number 3, then Barger and Okamoto at 2 and 4 in either direction. I like that a lot. I think that's their best shot at their peak lineup. You just haven't had anybody all on the same page at the same time.
All these injuries have given 2 Jays a spot on this team. In my mind, Piango and Valenzuela, they can't go anywhere when everyone returns. And if Heineman stays in Valenzuela, we've had this discussion before. If Valenzuela goes back down, I think there might be a riot at Rogers.
He's got to stick. He's a big leaguer at this point. I don't think it's been a competition recently anymore. I'm really interested to see tonight, Wednesday night, if they start Valenzuela again. If they do, curtains close. Like this is Valenzuela's job to run with. I know that the argument will be made of, man, don't you want him in AAA where he can play every day? I don't care anymore. He's 25, okay? This guy's not 20 years old, super prospect, young Alejandro Kirk. Remember how young he was. That's not what's happening here. And Valenzuela's game, and I mean this in a very complimentary way, I promise, it's geared really well to be a backup catcher in the big leagues, okay? It's not insulting to say you're a top 50 catcher on the planet. Like, it's a good thing. You want your backup to either be a really big bat who you can platoon, or you want him to be a great defender. And Valenzuela has the potential to be a truly great defender at catcher in the big leagues. That is obvious when he controls the running game, but from talking to the Jays coaches and his pitchers, they like how he sets up, how he frames, how he blocks. I think he's tough. And frankly, Dan, I mentioned this a few weeks back. I just think he's an adult back there. Like when prospects come up, I've learned over the years to kind of try to get a feel for that. Like I've been around prospects who come up and are too cocky. They've been spoiled their whole lives because they've been the golden boy and they don't know how to deal with failure. They're still kind of kids. Brandon Valenzuela feels like an adult Major League Baseball player who's going to be able to handle this. That's not the case with every prospect that comes up, I promise you. And everything I've seen from him has been really, really encouraging so far. And then Yohendrick Pinango. I mean, Pinango represents what the Jays keep talking about. Like John Schneider had a great quote pregame yesterday where he was saying, like, listen, like players can't just assume they can do the same thing as they did last year. The rest of the league's catching up and they've passed the Blue Jays. You can't just assume you're going to stay this beloved World Series team. You need to push the envelope. Who has pushed the envelope more than Yohendrick Pinango? He's going up and he's saying, listen, I'm going to let it rip. This is either really going to work out or really not. But man, he's got some swagger. He's got the lipstick tattoo in the neck. He's intimidating. I love it, man. Like him and Valenzuela, outside of Okamoto, because I'll leave that award for him. But those are the two other most encouraging things in this whole organization this year, I think.
Blue Jays have a rare Wednesday night game. Yeah. And the good news, after they play the Rays Wednesday night, they don't see them again until July.
Thank God, right? And it's an off day that I think they'll need as well. But they got to start winning some division games, man. This is going to be an interesting weekend coming up too. Detroit, I know they're without Skubal, and I know they haven't been great, but they're still they're a real team. You know, you can look at that messy group of wildcard teams. Even though the records look the same, you know who's a real team and who's not at this point. The Tigers are a real team. Then the Yankees. That is the one that I'm really looking forward to, Dan. Monday to Thursday next week in New York. Are the Blue Jays going to show up where they won the ALDS last year? And is that going to get their swagger back? Or are the Yankees going to whoop them and we really start to worry? Like, that's the tipping point series for me, no matter how this weekend goes in Detroit. The Yankees are always the measuring stick for this team. Even though the Blue Jays almost won the World Series last year, the Yankees still kind of feel like big brother in the division. And, man, if there's one thing that'll wake up Vladdy, too.
Oh, yeah, he goes in as a villain.
Oh, man, they'll be booing him. He loves that stuff. It's going to be pretty special. All the New York media will be over trying to ask Vladdy if it means more to him because it's New York, and he'll just be smirking and saying, no, not at all, when really he's just got both middle fingers up. Like, it's going to be cool.
The other thing about the Jays, you talked about most valuable players. Corbin continues to, he wasn't brilliant, but the guy has been so serviceable in the role that he's been thrust into, grabbing him out of the trash heap to say, hey, we really need you. And he, if anyone has stepped up for the Blue Jays, it has been Corbin.
Absolutely. I was off on Corbin. Like, when he came in, I thought, you've just got to hope he survives one.
And he
start.
survived. Look at that stat line. 9 hits. He gives up 3, but he's like, guys, I'm giving you a shot here. I could have gave up 8 runs, but I only gave up 3.
Like, when you look at his season line, 7 starts, 34 innings, a 3.93 ERA. You'll take a 3.93 ERA from your number 5 guy all season. Now, are the Blue Jays probably eager to cash out while this is still going well? Sure. Yeah. He's not missing many bats. He's not overwhelming hitters, but he's staying in safe spots. He's not missing over the plate. And Dan, when I really think of it, like, think of all of the salaries on this team, all of the players making $4 million, $8 million, $20 million, $15 million. The $1 million they're spending on Patrick Corbin is probably the best money they will spend all year.
100%.
Like, when you really break it down, get super heartless and commodify baseball players. We talk about how much is a win worth? How many millions of dollars is a win worth? Paying $1 million to Patrick Corbin to keep that rotation spot steady for 7 starts. I mean, incredible value, and full credit to him, because he came into a bit of a weird situation. It's always been a bit of a spot where, like, is he going to make his next start? Is Barrios going to come back? Is Scherzer going to come back? And I've respected his approach. He's just like, yo, listen, like, there's no ego to it. At least when he speaks to us, he's just like, hey, I'm here to pitch when they need me. He knows the realities too. He's been around the league. He knows that he's not here on a maximum deal or anything, right? But credit to him, man. Every season needs a hero in the rotation. It's been Eric Lauer. It's been Ross Stripling going back 4 or 5 years. Now it's Patrick Corbin.
Mention how Heineman's probably out of a job when Kirk returns. But the one thing Tyler Heineman can say is, hey, at least I've got a better average than Davis Schneider. And
it's been
like the
weird
Schneider
to watch.
experiment, it's getting painful at this point.
He needs some power but like it seems like it's either a walk or a strikeout lately. And there's a lot of walks. Like there's a ton of walks, and that's encouraging. But if you're going to be a guy that hits for low average and walks a lot, you need some power. Like there needs to be something else. Either you need to be the fastest guy on the team, which he's not, an elite defender, which he's not. He's good. He's not elite. Or you got to have some power. Like if Davis Schneider was either striking out, walking, or hitting a home run once every few days, okay, sure. But this organization has shown multiple times that they will trust Davis Schneider more than the public assumes, or more than my Twitter replies would like them to, whatever. It's clear that there are certain players you can get a feel for it that they really trust and they will stick with through struggles. And I keep coming back to it. Like the best outcome here is that Davis Schneider figures it out, because him hitting lefties as a guy who can move from the corner outfield into second base when they don't have many infielders, that's so valuable. You just need him to hit. And the walks have been great. The deep counts have been great. But I think he watched the strike three yesterday. Like I want to see Davis Schneider taking big swings. And if you miss the ball, whatever. But he's got to have a little more power. And we know it's in there. It's just, his is one of several performances, Dan, where like when I look at the stats, I think, oh my goodness, because we're so distracted by the bad season, by Vladdy, by multiple players struggling, that it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But it's been a tough start for Davis.
There's nothing more painful probably for a baseball player, but definitely as a baseball fan, to see someone watching a strike three.
Especially when they know it and they immediately just start walking back. And, me, an idiot sitting 500 feet away in a press box eating a sandwich, I'm up there thinking, I would have swung at that. Well,
Yeah, 100%.
I probably wouldn't have even seen the baseball blurb by me, but it's tough.
Thanks, my friend.
You got it.